Guys, AVIASSEMBLY has had its update number 1, and they've added a bunch of new things, new parts, and also a bunch of different painting options as well. So we'll go ahead and have a little look at some of this and see what we think about it today. Let's do this. Alright, so this is the first one right here. I don't really know where it belongs in terms of the research, but if we have a little look at it, it currently weighs 1 and its cargo is 20. So it's almost like this cockpit right here, but it weighs a little bit more, and it's like this one, but it weighs a little bit less. So that's kind of where we're coming from. That's pretty cool. We also have this cockpit right here, which looks really, really weird. I don't know if I like this. I feel like any plane that uses this sort of will look a little bit like an egg. Yeah, a little bit like that. I think that'll be kind of fun, but also, I'm not sure I like it that much. But anyway, how much weight does it have? Apparently it weighs 1, and the cargo space is 50. Wait, that's insane. That is actually really, really crazy. So it's got more cargo space than this one. It's got a little tiny bit less cargo space than this one. That doesn't seem right to me, but maybe. It's actually bigger than it looks, because the old glider one is smaller than it. Even though this one looks smaller. That's weird. Okay, so what do we have next then? Well, they've added small wings. So where are small wings on this? Glider wing, wing, canard, tail wing, delta wing, tail wing. These all seem like the normal wings that we had before. Oh, I guess they're all named wing anyway. Ah, small jet wing was already a thing. I think it's like this one. Is it that one? Is that new? I'm not sure. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is the small new wing, and this is the old straight wing, or whatever it's called. Yes, straight wing. So, how much lift does this thing have? Apparently, it has 42 lift, it weighs 1.5, drag of 19, and strength of 3.5, and it holds fuel. Wait, did none of the other ones hold fuel? None of the other ones have a fuel metric, so that's kind of interesting. Alright, let's add it to the plane. Let's do it. Bam! Alright, I want it to be a little bit nicer than that, I think. So we'll chuck those on there, and I'll move them inwards slightly, and I might angle them a tiny bit backwards. There we go. Alright, cool. So, you might think that's it. That's actually quite a few things to add already. We got 2 cockpits, and we got some wings. What are we going to look at next? Well, we're going to look at engines. They've actually added a prop fan engine right here, which weighs 1, thrust of 25, fuel consumption of 3, and electricity generation of 0.4. So essentially, it is like a jet on the front, and, well, it's kind of like one of these engines mounted with one of these engines. That's kind of what it feels like, anyway. Obviously, if that one was turned around. Yeah, interesting. So, their thrust is 25, which is slightly more than the big electric engine, and it's the same as the small jet engine. Interesting. It uses a little bit less fuel than that, but everything else is the same. Ah, it even costs the same. So realistically, you might as well use these over the small jet engines. But wait, that is not it, because they've actually added one more thing, and that is air brakes. So, air brakes weren't really a thing before, however, air brake parachutes were. So we used to have these things, and now we have these things. So if we chuck them on the wings, they will, I guess, fold up. I don't know what buttons you use to actually activate those, but I guess they'll work. I mean, they should work in the air. Maybe they will work in the air. Who knows? So we'll shove those on there for now, and that's fine. They currently cost 50, and they weigh 33. Oh, 0.33, sorry. Yeah, okay. Our final thing that we need to look at today is actually in the paint. You can now add shapes to anything you design, which is very interesting. So if we wanted a star, we could go ahead and chuck it on there like that. I'm assuming if we do colors first and then stars? No, I don't know how you change the color of the stars. I don't know how you change the color of these. Hide decals? No. How do you change the color of them? I have no idea, but I feel like you actually can, and I'm not entirely sure how you do that, but yeah. So, let's go ahead and paint the plane in like a yellow, I guess. There we go. Awesome. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So, let's go ahead and fly. We'll see what these new wings are like. Well, oh, you paint the decals afterwards. Alright, so you put them on and then you paint them. Alright, I'm glad we figured that out. Let's go ahead and put a love heart on here. And then let's make that love heart red. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's so cool. Alright, let's go for a fly. I have a feeling that the wings might not put up with the stresses of these engines, but it seems to be yeah, so we need to slow... Uh-oh. Okay, so the decals stay behind after. That's interesting. And our wings have fallen off. So we don't really get to test our air brakes. We need to restart. Okay, so we're going, and then if we want to use the air brakes, that's not how they work. Alright, I don't know what the button is. We need to figure that out. Do they work in the air? Oh, okay. They don't work on the ground. They only work in the air. Alright, very interesting. Those are going to be super useful, especially with trying to have like a nice looking plane. Those are really, really awesome. Oh, I like it. Yeah. So you can come in for a landing. And then you can use the air brakes, obviously, in the air. But as soon as you touch the ground, it uses reverse thrusters, and the air brakes just stop. Okay, sure, why not? Yeah. Anyway, I know this was like a quick and short video. There's only one more thing that I want to check, actually. So let's go back to the base. And let's go to research. So they're actually added right there for the engines. The wings... I don't know where the wings have been added, so... Wing, it might be this one. I feel like it might... Oh no, it's this one. That's the straight wing right there. That's the engine that they've added. And the air brakes presumably are all the way down here. Yes. Okay, so you get the air brakes before you get the parachutes. That makes sense. Okay, awesome. And then if we look at the cockpits, obviously that's the new cockpit right there. And the other new cockpit is all the way at the end right there. Yes. Alright, very interesting. Well, anyway, I'm going to end today's video here. I will link down below the actual update if you guys want to take a look at the wording and stuff. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Also, let me know what you think of it.